All right, Matt, why don't you take it over? Why don't we grab our special guest and get in here and talk some wrestling?
Yes, let's bring in Sir Connor Casey. How are you, sir?
What's going on, guys?
Do you like how I added the knighthood thing?
Sometimes you have to acknowledge me, Matthew.
Oh, there it is. Acknowledge me. God, I love Roman Reigns. I love the bloodline. So we're going to be talking wrestling because, of course, this weekend is actually today is Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory as well. So stay tuned for comicbook.com for coverage on that. And then Saturday is WWE's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. A lot of buzz over the last few weeks about what to expect from all this. But I know you wanted to kind of start with a broader overview, Connor, on like this new era of WWE.
Indeed, I do, Matt. And I could have come in here and talk about how in a month we have to pretend that Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul is a real match. I could come in here and talk about how we are officially 6 months since they unified the World Championships and how it was Vince McMahon's last big mistake. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be positive today because I went back and I looked at the Extreme Rules card from last year. 7 matches. But what do you remember from it? A lot of stupidity. I remember a non-finish to a Bianca versus Becky Lynch match. I remember Alexa Bliss crying because Charlotte Flair ripped up her doll and then she tried to take an Alka-Seltzer and try to foam at the mouth. It didn't work. And then I saw what might be the worst finish to a pay-per-view in the last 10 years, making Finn Balor look like an absolute dork.
Yeah.
And killing the demon gimmick forever. You had something that could have been the next "that's gotta be Kane" moment, and you made it completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
But look at where we are now. 6 matches on a Saturday night card. All of them have stipulations instead of just one.
Thank the Lord.
All of them sound fun. We get the fight pit for the first time on the main.
Yeah, we do.
And if you're not an NXT fan, that's one of the craziest matches they got right now. I want Triple H to make that his Hell in a Cell. Make that be, okay, we've had this feud go on long enough. It's got to end violently. And have it in the fight pit. I love that idea. And I love that they're
doing War Games.
A former UFC champion to referee this thing, to give it a little bit of legitimacy. And I have a hunch he might be sticking around for a little bit longer. But I think overall, just looking at this card, it's emblematic of Triple H is just a better booker than what Vince McMahon had been offering us for the past few years. And this is the perfect example of that. You could have talked about Clash at the Castle a month ago, but there was a lot of other things going into that. It was a stadium show. It was over in the UK. There was a lot riding on that being their first big stadium show in 30 years.
Yeah.
This is just a straight up pay-per-view, and Triple H is still hitting us with his fastball, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you. I feel like anyone who's been watching the product over the past month and 2 months has seen a difference, not even just in the returns, but just in the subtle changes, right? I mean, the fact that I'm getting a Finn Balor versus Edge thing in here and I'm not worried is like the biggest thing, because I've been so worried. Every time Vince puts Balor in a position like that, I get scared. It's just like, I don't know. And here it's just, I mean, we're seeing the women's division treated like, it exists again. We're seeing so many things. And actual just matches. I mean,
right.
Geez, when was the last time we talked about Sheamus in this spot? And I'm excited for the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium because of the
6-man
work.
tag match.
Yeah, because of the work they have done with the Brawling Brutes and Sheamus, keeping Gunther and Imperium feeling like a big deal, not overdoing. Like there's a lot of work that goes into that. And I care about this match. And a year ago, I would not have given anything about that match. So yes,
and it's emblematic of what he brought from NXT, because when we talk about this show, we're just talking about how fun these matches are going to be. We're not crossing our fingers and gritting our teeth and praying to whatever God you believe in that they're not going to do something stupid. We're walking into this card with the full confidence that there's not really going to be anything stupid on it. We're not going to walk away from it going, God, that was a waste of 3 hours.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the stipulations. I am so tired of cards with a theme and you have a match, 2 matches maybe with it, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. This fits. I agree with you. So speaking of, though, praying to whatever god you pray to and crossing fingers. We do have a big thing that's kind of looming over everything in Extreme Rules, which is the White Rabbit. They've been teasing all of these things on Raw and SmackDown, all these QR codes, all these links to old Bray Wyatt promos and things he said. So everyone obviously thinks it's Bray Wyatt. And Extreme Rules would seem like the perfect place to start that process of unveiling. What do you think we'll see, and what will you be disappointed if we don't see?
So the initial report that kind of pointed to Extreme Rules as this is the big reveal was a Fightful Select report that dropped a little over a week ago. Sean Ross Sapp, the guy who reported it, has since backed off a little from his sources. They've said this might be the reveal, but you might not even expect him to be in the building. Mm-hmm. So what I'm hoping for is some sort of reveal. I don't want this to just be another QR code that we spend the next 20 minutes afterwards trying to solve everything and Twitter basically doing it for us. I want there to actually be something and not just be, oh, maybe I'll show up on Raw, maybe I'll show up on SmackDown. It's got to be Wyatt, and I don't know what form that comes in, but so many of the clues are so obvious that for it to be anybody else just feels like a massive blunder. And like we were saying earlier, I don't expect them to pull out the rug like that. My whole thing with this is that when it comes to Bray Wyatt, the build has so often been better than the execution.
Agreed.
The build to the Firefly Funhouse, the build to his initial debut with The Fiend, the build to his match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 33, all solid. But then when the matches actually come themselves and we get that WrestleMania 33 debacle, we get their match where they fought in the abandoned crack house, we get the Wyatt swamp fight. Like, there's a reason that Wyatt has somehow been involved in what has been awarded as the worst match of the year 4 times. 4 times. For a guy that's not that bad in the ring. But it's always about how the expectations in the build never match the payoff.
Yeah.
So here we are again. Fantastic build. All these expectations rising up. Now you got to pay it off. Now, thankfully, there's not a 70-some-odd-year-old guy calling all the shots now. Thankfully. But still got to pull it off.
True. And also the thing of note, too, is that, yes, it's not a 77-year-old man. Also, it is someone that thought him worth bringing back. So you do have someone that not just wanted to bring back the big name, but also believed enough in what he can do to, like, we're going to follow through with it, right? Because that was always the biggest thing with Vince. The big showy stuff always got all the attention. And then when it came time to, like, hey, let's book him properly, let's have him win. And as Spiderface 101 points out, he has to win. That was one of the biggest things we've always talked about. He always loses in the worst spots. There's no reason he should be going down to Goldberg. There's no reason he should be going down to Seth and the Hell in a Cell. There's reasons, right? So I agree with you. I think even put it in our predictions, which you should check out on comicbook.com, by the way, is that I think it's going to be a reveal of whether it's the character's mask or face or something, even on a video screen. He doesn't even have to be there. But I think we're going to get some physical manifestation of, oh, that's who he's going to be. And then they'll follow it up with, like, hey, you know, Raw will be the kind of main breathing space that he'll start to get rolled out on. But I do think we get something. If we get another chase this, I'll be bummed. Like, I'll be pissed.
And there's not even a guarantee that it is Raw that he's going to, because the QR codes have been showing up on both shows.
Both, true.
And all of the, you know, Jefferson Airplane song playing at the house shows, those have all been on SmackDown shows.
It's true.
And SmackDown is weirdly becoming rather crowded for a 2-hour program. I pointed this out the other day. There's like 7 factions now, and we're about to get Legado thrown in there. Like,
we're gonna get Legado del Fantasma.
When did SmackDown become AEW, where it's the land of factions?
I mean, you love Dynamite.
I do love Dynamite.
What's wrong with
it? Has lots of factions. It has a lot of factions.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. It is getting crowded. I just assume because, like, you know, SmackDown is the A show, but Raw still kind of gets treated as the A show. So I figured a big attraction like that might be on Raw, but we'll see. So that's Extreme Rules. Anything else you wanted to throw in before we head off?
Everybody go follow us over on TikTok. We are at Comic Book Wrestling. We are trying to build up the fan base there. We've got a little under 3,500 followers right now. We'd like to see that hit 5K. So if you're on TikTok, go give that a shot. Myself and Liam Crowley have been adding a lot of stuff in there, and we'll get Matt involved in on that here pretty soon.